Okay, hi and welcome back again. Now we're going to start with the speaking workshop for level 3. So welcome to this workshop and let's start. So the first thing that you're going to learn that we're going to remember, it's adjectives that you can use to describe people in general, not just people, but things, animals, whatever you want to describe. So as you see here, we have some adjectives that you can use. For example, brave, for example, cheerful, easygoing, generous, helpful, honest, intelligent, nervous, reliable, selfish, serious, sociable. Those are some of the adjectives that you can use to describe uh, someone. In this case, if you want to describe yourself, you can use the example that you have here. It says Veronica and I, describing her and her best friend, are easygoing and we aren't selfish. We both have big families and share our clothes and computers with our brothers and sisters. So this is a way that you can use to describe yourself or to describe someone else. Okay. So remember, just use them. You can say, for example, my brother, he is very outgoing. Just start with the subject, verb, and then the adjective that you are going to use here. Okay. So remember, well, here in this part, we learned adjectives, and that's what we're going to remember when we do this. Okay, now, well, when you want to introduce yourself to someone, you just start just by saying your name, talking about, I don't know, something that you want to share with someone. And for example, I'm gonna introduce myself to you. I'm gonna tell you, hi, my name is Daniela. I am from Quito. I am 38 years old. I like to listen to music. I like to watch movies. You can use some vocabulary that you learn here. For example, I am into I don't know, watching music videos. For example, you can say, I live with my husband, I live with my family. I was born in Quito. I am married and I have no children. And I have my two babies, my two dogs. Those are my babies. Those are my children. Okay, so try to use this type of vocabulary that you learn to introduce. It's up to you whatever you want to say. It's up to you if you want to share some personal information, if you don't want to share some personal information. So you decide what you want to share when you introduce yourself to the group. So that's very important. That's up to you. Use the vocabulary we learn in this unit. And well, there's lots of vocabulary that you can use. Um, and that's it. Okay. So now you know a little bit more about myself. Now, again, talking that what are we into? That's something that we learn in this level. So, for example, what activities are you into? When we ask that, we want to know what you're doing these days. For example, activities I am into, right now, I am preparing to receive some delegates from abroad, and so I'm preparing. I'm doing some souvenirs. I'm buying some stuff to share with them. I'm buying stuff to prepare some food for them. So this is what I'm doing these days. These activities, when it says, do you do these activities alone or with your friends? You can say what you do or when you do it or who you do it with. For example, in my case, I do these activities with my husband and my family, my father, my mother. And then we're doing this activity in a big group with some other friends that we have to receive all these delegates that are coming to our country. I usually do them every day because right now we have a short time to do them. And they are really fun because I enjoy making these things so people from other countries can get to know our country, our culture, and our personality, how we are. So maybe they erase some things that they thought we were, but we are not. So yeah, that's what I'm doing these days. So useful language that you can use when you want to talk about what you're into, what you're not into. It's dance, go shopping, eat at restaurants, exercise, play video games, travel, go camping, go to the beach. You can add exercise, I don't know, traveling, those kinds of things. Okay. So things, sorry. So you can share with someone what you're doing these days or what you're into these days. Okay. So that's it. I already shared what I'm doing these days. I hope you can share with me what you're doing these days throughout the comments if you want to. Okay. Now, when you want to give information about your friend, your husband, your wife, your children, etc., if you want to give information about them, you can ask indirect questions to find out about someone. What's the difference here? Direct questions are the ones that you just go straight and ask them, like where do you live? Where are you from? What are you into? What do you like to play? What sports do you like? They are direct questions, but indirect questions are to be more or to be polite because sometimes asking direct questions doesn't mean that you're going to be polite. Well, here in our country, it's typical for us to ask direct questions, and we sometimes ask some private questions that we're not supposed to, but that's common here. But in some other countries, that's not very common. So that's why it's better to use these indirect questions. The indirect questions are the ones that you are going to add first a phrase like, do you know? Can you tell me? Like the ones that you can see up here. These ones. Can you tell me? Do you know? I'd like to know. Do you have an idea? An idea? I want to find out. I wonder. Those are the phrases that you're going to add first before asking the question. So it sounds more polite. So, for example, if I say, well, the direct question here is, where was she born? And that's it. But that may sound too direct. So let's make it polite. Okay, do you know where she was born? Or do you know where she lives? And it's better to ask this way, so not to sound rude. And then you will have the answer. She's from Colombia, but she grew up in Ohio. What's the deal here with the indirect questions? With indirect questions is that, well, first the phrase, and then you will have to change the structure. Because normally when we ask questions, we have the structure for questions, right? But when we use indirect questions, we will have to use the structure of indirect questions. Okay? So you have to change the structure. So use the structure of an affirmative question. So for example, let me write it down here. Let's talk about a little bit of grammar, even though this is a speaking workshop. So the direct question is, where was she born? Okay. So the structure we're using here is the WH word plus was or where. And then, well, in this case, when you want to talk about where someone was born, you have to use this structure that we have here. Let's do another one, a better one. And where do you live? Okay. Okay, so the structure you're using is the WH word plus the auxiliary, that in this case is do, plus the subject and plus the verb and the question mark. That's the structure we are using when you use direct questions. But in this case, when we want to use indirect questions, we are gonna say it this way. So, can you tell me, I'm sorry. Can you tell me where where you were born, where you were born. No, sorry, that's enough. Where you live, where you live. Can you tell me where you live? So that's the indirect question that you're going to ask. So if you see here, well, first we have the phrase that it's, can you tell me? We're going to leave it like that. Then you have the WH word. And then what I was saying is here is the structure where the structure changes. You use subject first and then the verb. As you see, it's different, right? Because you move it, you change it. Okay, so you don't use the auxiliary here because it's the structure of a sentence of an affirmative, so we don't have to use do anymore. Okay, so where you live, and that's it. And yeah, well, in this case, you have to use the question mark. Sometimes you don't have to use the question mark because it's a statement within a statement, so it's just a statement. So that's the thing. That's the thing with indirect questions. That's why you have to use them when you speak because they sound polite, not so direct. No, we are not so. Sometimes we can sound kind of rude when we ask direct questions. So that's why we're learning here how to ask indirect questions. Okay. Don't forget you have to use the structure of an affirmative instead of using the structure of a question. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go with the next topic. So first impressions, we're gonna talk about here what we're supposed to practice and we have to practice is to talk about past experiences of meeting new people. Okay. And here is like, how do you feel whenever you meet someone new? Okay. You feel nervous, you feel enthusiastic, or you feel uncertain. In my case, I feel nervous. Okay. I don't like talking to people that I don't know. So for me, it's kind of difficult to do this type of things. I and uncertain. I also feel uncertain because I don't know what's going to happen if I start talking with someone that I don't know. Okay. But I know that in some other cases, people love talking with people they don't know. So you feel enthusiastic, right? You feel happy. You feel excited to get to know more people. So yeah. Yeah, you can whenever you want to say how you feel, you can say, when I meet someone new, I usually feel enthusiastic. I can always learn from new friends. I usually talk about myself and what I'm doing in that situation. That's the way that you can answer the question that I asked at the beginning. How do you feel when you meet someone new? And when I asked, what do you do? Sorry, when you meet someone new, here are some options like, do you ask questions? Do you talk about yourself? Or what else do you do? Okay. So tell me in the comments, what do you do when you meet someone new? Like, for example, in my case, if the day comes and I start talking with someone new, normally I ask questions that are common questions that you can ask anyone. Let's say that I'm in the bank. And when I'm in the bank, I like, oh my God, this is taking so long. Okay. The cashiers are taking so long to do their stuff. And then when the other person answers, then I start, oh, okay, yeah. So where do you live? Maybe do you live around here? How long have you been waiting? Those type of questions. Like talking about yourself, for me, it's not so good because I don't know. But for some others, it works because they like to share information. I don't like to share so much information, okay? Some other people, they just start sharing experiences in banks and or things like that. So this happens with first impressions. The idea of this activity is to like get to know someone else and start talking with someone else. So whenever you are in a group, like try to share and try to be as relaxed and you can and use vocabulary from this unit, the one that you learn. Yeah, that's what you can do for this section. And as I said before, use the vocabulary that we have learned in these units. You have lots of vocabulary here, so try to use it, okay? Um, what else? Let me see if I'm missing something. Okay. Okay, very good. So that's it when you start new conversations, okay? Okay. So that's the way that you start with first impressions. Those are the things that you can say. You can, well, with first impressions, remember you have to introduce yourself. Hello, I am this. I'm Mia. I am Daniela. Uh, Always introduce yourself whenever you have to start a conversation. Now, when you want to end a conversation, because let's say that you're in a hurry or you have to do something, these are the ways that you can end the conversation, okay? So before you say goodbye, first you end the conversation and then you say goodbye. So if someone says it was really nice to meet you, you which one do you think it should be the correct way of ending the conversation? Right? Those um answers. You have three. It says, it was nice talking to you. I should let you go. I hope we can talk again soon. Wait, hold on a sec. I want you to meet someone. Um, or which ones do you think, or which one do you think is the correct answer? Well, in the first one, when it says it was really nice to meet you, um, you can say, B, I should let you go. I hope we can talk again soon, or it was nice talking to you. Both of them are okay. Okay, so you can use both. Um, when you say I should wait on, hold on a sec, I want you to meet someone, that's when you don't want to end the conversation. That's when you want the other person to continue talking. So okay, hold on, don't stop talking. Let's continue. Let's go, let's do this. And then you continue talking with that person. So remember, A and B, those are good ways of ending a conversation. It was nice talking to you. It's more informal. And I should let you go. It's like kind of more, not, yeah, we can say formal, more polite to end the conversation. If you want to use shorter ways of ending a conversation, you can say, sorry, I have to go now. It was nice to meet you. I should let you go, or it was nice talking to you. Okay, that's the one that we have in number two. Well, it was nice talking to you. How would you end the conversation if someone says that? You can say, yes, it was. Um, Sorry, I have to go now. Let's get together again sometime. I should let you go. I'm sure you have things to do. Okay, so, well, it was nice talking to you. You're gonna say, yes, it was. Let's get together again sometime. And that's it. You end the conversation. And you end the conversation really, 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 in a really, really polite way to end the conversation. Okay. Um, or let's get, I should let you, yes, it was. I should let you go. I'm sure you're having things to do. But in this case, the best one is C. Like you leave the door open to meet again with that person and to get to know, to get together with a person some other time. When you say, sorry, I have to go now, it's when you end the conversation. So you're not the first, you're the first one saying, okay, bye-bye. Okay. And that's it. These are ways, and the ones that I already told you, like, sorry, I have to go now. It was nice to meet you, etc., etc., etc. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about our family. In this section, we practice like vocabulary from our family and when we talk about our family. So, we have some questions here. How many brothers and sisters are there in your group's family? Who has the oldest relative? Who has the youngest relative? Who has the biggest family gathering? Who was the smallest family? When you ask those type of questions, you can answer these questions like, okay, for example, in the case of who's the oldest relative, you can say my great grandmother is 96 years old. My family gets together for her birthday. There are usually about 25 of us. That's when we talk about big family gatherings there. Okay. So the idea of this activity is to share some information about your family and to ask and answer questions between the ones who are supposed to be there. So you can try that. You can practice that, like ask questions to someone. So let that person answer that question. Um, and that's it. I mean, like, for example, let's talk about me because I'm the one here. So it says, how many brothers and sisters are there in your group's families? In my group family, if we're talking on my mother's side, normally there are two or three, like siblings in general. The majority have two women, like two females. That's the word that I was looking for. So that's in my family. If I'm talking about my dad's side, that's another thing. There are a lot of people there. My uncles, they have lots of children, like 4 or 5 children. So yeah, that's a big, big family. My oldest relative, it's my great grandmother. She is 96. So she's the oldest one. From my mom's side, my dad's side, it's my grandmother. She's 88. Okay, the youngest relative in my family is my cousin. She is no, wait, my cousin, he is 10 years old. And family gatherings, the biggest one I'm on my dad's side because I have a lot of family there, and the smallest family is on my mom's side because we have small family there. Okay. Um, so yeah, if you want to talk, you can ask questions like this. Can you tell me how old your oldest relative is? If you see, we're using here indirect question. This is an indirect questions. How do you know? You always start with a phrase before you ask the question, even though we're using the structure of an affirmative. Okay. And then you can ask all these questions to have a nice conversation with someone that you don't know and that you want to know to get to know the family. All right. Okay. Now, how do you define a leader? This is a very good question. And this is a very interesting question because people have different ideas of who is a good leader or how to be a good leader. So we have a picture here of a penguin. And this penguin, if you see here, this is the leader because he's going first. And I want you to think what makes this penguin a good leader. Like you have some adjectives here that you can use, like bravery, generosity, honesty, intelligence, reliability, seriousness, social skills. Um, so which of these do you think a, a good leader should have? Hmm. I'm sorry. Okay. So which one do you think describes the best leader in our world? Okay, so let's use these. Oh, sorry, I said adjectives. These are nouns, like bravery. It's a noun. The adjective should be brave. The adjective of generosity, it's generous. The adjective of honesty is honest. The adjective of intelligence is intelligent. Reliability, reliable. Seriousness, serious. Well, social skills, there's no adjective from that word, okay? So in this case, we're using some nouns. And now let's talk about what a good leader should have. In my opinion, I think a good leader should be generous, should be honest. That's very, very important for someone to be honest. Should be intelligent, sorry, because if the leader is intelligent, he's going to know how to lead these people, putting their interests first before his or hers. Seriousness, I don't think seriousness is necessary because a good leader should be fun. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a clown, but should be fun. And yeah, obviously, a leader should have social skills because if he doesn't have social skills, how is he gonna talk or relate with people? That's very, very important. All right. So yeah, for me, those are the qualities a good leader should have. And if you see there, the leader there, it's taking the first step. So he's showing the way of how to do things, and then the others are gonna follow him. So maybe we can say that he's brave because he's doing the things first. He's not just waiting for the rest to do their job, his job, and that's it. So to talk about that, we have here some leaders that some people consider them good leaders or just leaders. We have Barack Obama. Barack Obama, some people say that he's a good leader because he was generous, he was fun, he was friendly with people. He was very smart taking the decisions, and he took good care of the country. That's what people say. I'm not saying that he's a good leader or not. Nayib Bukele, people think he's a great leader. Like using the adjectives and the nouns that we learned before, they say that he's a good leader because he's eliminating all the bad people from his country. So people think he's a good leader. He's kind of tough, but he's doing a nice job. Mother Teresa, people say she's a good leader because she put others before herself, and she took care of a lot of people and she helped a lot of people. So a good leader should be generous. So one adjective that can describe her was that she was generous. Serena Williams, she's a good leader because she had a good life. I mean, she pushed harder and harder to get where she is, and she's honest, and that's why people think they are good leaders in the world, from the world. So if you think about each of them, you can tell us maybe in the comments if you think they are good leaders and why. And if you don't think they're good leaders and you have some others, you can also comment on that and say, okay, no, I think this is not a good leader because of this, but this other is a really good leader because of these reasons. So you can share your opinion and what you think in the comment section, and tell us what you think a good leader. And that's a good way of practicing vocabulary and a good way of practicing um, English. That's what we're doing. And that's what we're supposed to do in this workshop. Okay. All right. Very good. Now, let's talk about favorite possessions. Okay. When we talk about possessions, it doesn't mean that we're going to talk about my house, my car, like big possessions. When we talk about possessions, we talk about things that are very, very important to you, things that you possess that are very, very important to you. For example, if you see in the picture, you can see a pair of shoes. For someone, those could be very, very important because of a special reason. So that's what I want you to share also with me. Like, what possessions do you have? Well, here we said 3 possessions, but you can share one possession that you have that you think is the best and why you have that possession. So in my case, my possession, like the best one, are my pets. I don't feel them as pets. I feel them as family, but they are my possession, and I love them because they are fulfill my life with lots of love. Obviously, my car, my home, those are my favorite possessions because I use them every day, and they're very important for me to fulfill whatever I have to fulfill to do the things that I need to do, like working and all that stuff. So yeah, but I think my favorite possessions are my pets. How did I get them? Well, when one I bought, the other one someone gave it to me, and it has been the best. As I already said, they are important for me because they fulfill my life with love. And how long have I had them? My baby, my first baby, she's 13, almost 14 years old. So you know how long I have had her. And my youngest one, she is 4 months. So I have had her for 2 months, more or less. But she has become one of my favorite ones already. So tell me, which is your favorite possession? How did you get this possession? Why is this possession important to you? And how long have you have uh, this possession? All right. Um, yeah, share that with me and let me know how is how are these things important to you? Okay. Excellent. Now the next topic is where do you want to travel? If we talk about traveling, we have lots of things to do to say. For example, in this case, you can learn how to give directions, or ask or give directions. When you travel to a new country, there are some different ways to ask for directions. For example, if you want to ask, you can say, can you tell me how to get, let's say that you travel to Guayaquil, okay? So you can say, can you tell me how to get to the Malecón? That's a way of asking. Another way is, how do I get to El Malecón? Or which way is easier to take to go to arrive to the Malecón? Or maybe if you are in a building and you want to know where the office is or where the apartment is, you can say, do you know which floor he or she or sorry, the office is on? Like it, and then you ask, and then the person is gonna tell, okay, it's on the fifth floor. So you go to the fifth floor. When you give directions, that's different. When you give directions, you can use like some expressions or some, you can say this way. It's upstairs. We're talking about the floor where something is. It's upstairs. Just, you can say just upstairs, okay, or downstairs. It depends where you are. And then you can specify the floor, fifth floor, second floor, third floor, first floor, etc., lobby, etc., etc., etc. If you are on the place and you don't know which way to take, you can say it's on the right left way, or it's on the left, on the right. If it's on the hallway, you can say go down the hallway. Or if it's in the lobby and you have to go through the lobby, you say go through the lobby. So these are ways to give directions when you're inside a place, okay? If you want to make sure if what you said, or if what you said was okay, you can repeat details to show that you understand. Like, okay, someone told me the direction. Now I'm going to check if I understood well. So if I say, how do I get to the cafeteria? The cafeteria, because you're not sure if you listened correctly what the person was asking. So how do I get to the cafeteria? The cafeteria. Maybe if you made a mistake, the person's going to say, no, 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 I didn't say the cafeteria. I said the cinema. So the cafeteria, it's on the second floor. Oh, it's on the right. Oh, it's next to the library. Okay. So when you want to be polite in English, you're going to say, sorry, one more question if you want to ask another question. To be polite. This is when you want to ask a lot of questions, because sometimes we don't understand with one thing. So you want to ask something else, or maybe 3, 4 more questions. So you say, sorry, one more question, and then you show that you're polite. Okay. Use polite expressions whenever you ask this, like, okay, excuse me, do you know which floor is the restaurant is on? Oh, thank you. Can I use the stairs? So which one is the elevator? Oh, that what I said before. Sorry, one more question, and then you ask the question. Okay. If they are asking you for directions and you are answering and you want to check, as I said before, you said the restaurant, oh, it's downstairs on the basement. Or when someone says, which is the elevator, or what should I take? You can say no problem, to show that you don't, it's okay with you for the other person to ask a lot of questions. Okay. So whenever you travel, this is very, very important to use polite language and to know how to give and to ask for directions. Yeah, and that's it. Very good. Now, the next topic is research and decide. Whenever you want to travel, you should research and decide what items you should bring with you, what items are essential, which items are not essential. So for you, tell me, which items are essential for a trip? For me, for example, essential, passport, cell phone, money, and clothes for those days. Those are essential, I think. Non-essential for me, it depends where you're going, but non-essential are makeup is the makeup. Lots of clothes, like not the necessary, but some extra clothes. Toys, maybe that's not for me, it's not essential unless you have kids. That's another thing. So the language that you can use here, if someone asks you, okay, what's essential for you, what's not essential, is the one that you have here. I think we should bring money, because if you don't have money, you cannot buy anything and you cannot move around wherever you go, right? Or when you want to say, okay, I don't think we need to bring, okay, so I don't think we need to bring makeup, as I said before, because if you're going to the beach, it's not necessary to wear makeup on the beach, right? And this item is special to me because I had a friend who used to have two, like, teddy bears. I don't remember specifically what they were. And she used to take them everywhere she traveled, or if a friend traveled, she used to ask the friend to take those teddy bears and take pictures of the teddy bears in the place that the person was or she was. So they were essential for her because they were, I don't know how to say it. They were having memories for them. So yeah, she took them. For me, they're not essential, maybe something extra, but for her, they were essential to take wherever she went. All right. So this is the vocabulary that you can use. This is the language that you can use whenever you talk about traveling, when you're deciding where to go. Um, yeah, that's important. Um, for example, when you are traveling and you want to question someone's choice, you can use like these questions. Why would you want to go to the bar, to that place? Or do you really need a phone? Or do you really need to take chocolate to the trip? Are you sure you want to buy those clothes for the trip? Those kinds of questions. Okay, when you're questioning someone's choice, you have to be polite. Even though you're questioning, you have to be polite. When you approve someone's choice, you can say, okay, that's a great idea. Or that's a great choice, or that's a great decision. That's what I would do. That's what I would buy. I think you made the right choice or you made the right decision. Or when you want to change your mind, you can say, now that I think about it, I like coffee, not a soda. Or 1 second, I'll have some cake. When you want to change your mind. Let's say that you are in a restaurant and you're ordering food, but you change your mind of what you ordered. So you say, okay, now that I think about it, I would like coffee instead of a soda. Okay, I would like coffee, not coffee. Sorry, that was wrong. I would like coffee instead of soda. Or on second thought, if you want to change your mind, let's say that you ask a ice cream for dessert instead of something else, and then you change your mind and you want the cake. You're gonna say, oh, once on second thought, I have some cake. Okay, so this is also useful vocabulary that you can use whenever you travel. Okay, um, and that's it. Now, let's talk about weekend plans. What do you plan to do? Tell me, what do you plan to do? In my case, I want to rest. I want to sleep. I'm really tired, so I really, really want to rest because I have lots of things to do next week. As I told you, I'm preparing lots of things. So, in your case, what do you like to do? What are you going to do? Remember, when you talk about future plans, or in this case, weekend plans, you can use going to if you're something you already plan ahead of time. You can use will if you're talking about something that just came to your mind right now. You can also use present continuous, that it's the same as using going to. So, for example, you can say, I am going to clean the house if you've already planned that, or I'm going to eat out. Uh, I'm going to go, I'm going to go out to eat. Oh, okay. Because maybe you have already planned, or I just ask you, what are you doing this weekend? You say, I will watch a movie. Remember, if you're sure of what you're saying, if you've already planned those things ahead, use going to and present continuous. Like I said before, I am going to go to the mall. I am going to the mall. Both are okay. If you're not sure, if it's something that you're just um saying it because it came to your mind, you just use will. I will work, or I will have some free time. That's up to you. Okay. You have to use um in this case, even though we're practicing speaking, you have to use the correct grammar so it's understood what you're saying. Okay. Um, maybe here you can use, like, when you want to ask about someone what the person is going to do this weekend. Um, you can ask, like, we can use what I said before, like when you're questioning someone, like, um, what would you like to do this weekend? That's very polite whenever you ask that. Okay. So that's it. What do you want to do this weekend? Tell me whatever you're gonna do this weekend and share with us what you're gonna do. And the last thing that we're gonna see, it's, well, the same. Plans for a weekend trip. Well, it's not the same, but let's say that we're planning something together to go on a trip this weekend. So where would you like to go? Like to the beach, to a city, to the desert, a lake, mountains, rainforest, someplace else? Where would you like to go? How would you make uh this trip. How would you make the trip when you want to go somewhere? Okay. So the same, we're going to use the grammar that we learned in this unit, that it's present, continuous, going to, or will, to talk about the things that you would do. Okay. Remember, going to, when we want to talk about making predictions, you can use both going to and will. But when we also want to talk about the future, you can also use will if you're making the plan right now, or you can use going to if you already planned that ahead. So let's say that we're going to go to the beach, okay? We're going to go to the beach. So not right now, we're planning. So I'm going to go to Puerto Viejo, no, to Manta, because I said the beach. I'm going to go to Manta and I'm going to eat ceviche. I have already planned that, so that's why I'm using that vocabulary. It's going to be a beautiful day, so you won't need a coat. There, what else? If it's a sudden decision, you're gonna say, I'll have beer on the beach. It's a sudden decision, you're not planning anything for that. Or I will tell my mother. It's something that just came to your mind. Okay, so it's very, very important to use the correct vocabulary whenever you're speaking, or the correct grammar whenever you're talking about plans you're having for the future. Okay, so that's it. That's what we learned this level in speaking. Please practice whatever I said. The questions that you see on each slide, pause them and answer them, trying to practice speaking and the fluency. And that's going to help you a lot. Okay, that will help you a lot if you practice, or you can write on the comments whatever you're thinking. You can write on the comments, and then we can share that information, and we can share with others our experiences, our things. Use vocabulary, the vocabulary that you learn. Remember that if in the students' resources, you're going to find there's this called vocabulary. You can also find the grammar resource. Well, yeah, resource. And you can download that, and then you can use that vocabulary to practice and practice, so you'll get better when you speak in English. Okay? So this is the speaking workshop. We're done. I'm glad that I was able to do this, and I'm happy to share some information with you. If you have some questions, let me know in the comments, and I will answer those questions after I read your comments. Thank you very much. Have an excellent weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.